Welcome to the Credible Communication Podcast. I'm your host, Anetria Pollard, where we believe credible communication builds eternal bonds. Whether you're joining me on YouTube or listening wherever you enjoy your podcast, thank you for spending this time with us. Today's conversation is one I've been looking forward to. When we hear the word leader, we often think of titles: principal, CEO, manager, pastor, business owner, etc. But leadership begins long bore a title. It starts at home, in our relationships, and in conversations we have every day. As women, many of us wear multiple hats. We may be wives, mothers, educators, some professionals, ministry leaders, mentors, daughters, sisters, and friends. Those roles may shift, however, over time, but one thing remains steady, and that is how we show up. Today, instead of a formal interview, I've invited a friend to join me for a conversation. We have similar journeys. We both served in education. We both led families. We both worked to balance faith, marriage, motherhood, and purpose. I hope, my hope is that as you listen today, you hear pieces of our story in your own. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I can't wait to dive in. So let's do it.
All right. Thank you so much. I am so glad to have you. But before we start to talk about leadership, I want to share something that shapes how I see life. I often think about the four seasons, not just the seasons of nature, but the seasons of life. Spring to me represents new beginnings. Summer represents growth and productivity. Fall to me reminds us to release what no longer serves us so we can prepare for what is next. And winter is often a season of quiet reflection, healing, and trusting God before new growth begins again. What I love most is that none of these seasons is better than another. Each one has its own purpose. So when I ask someone what season they're in, I'm really asking, what is God teaching you right now? So, my friend, when you think about your life as a wife, a mom, a principal, and a leader, what season would you say you're in?
I would definitely say I am in the spring. I believe that my husband and I, we've been married going on 23 years, and our children are almost, they're young adults. So we have one child left. He's 17, a senior in high school. So we're kind of in that empty nester phase, getting there. And so I'm going to say spring because it's new beginnings, and we get to enjoy each other, enjoy our company together, and then starting something new because eventually it's just going to be the two of us. So I'm in that season of being a wife and being infatuated all over again, and we get to date, and our kids are like, "Mommy, mommy." So I would say springtime.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And guys, I wish you could see her face. I see that she's going back to when she and her husband met some 20 some years ago. And that spring, she's smiling from ear to ear. Absolutely love that. Tell she has a very special relationship, and that is so important. You know, every season asks something different of us. One of the things I teach is that credible communication rests on four simple pillars: our words, actions, character, and consistency. I found that those pillars, they actually strengthen more than marriage. They shape how we lead, how we serve, and how people experience us. Tell me about leading people while also leading your family.
Leadership for me definitely starts at home. I believe that you have to be, in order to be respected in the public, you need to definitely be respected in private.
Yes.
And so I don't want to tell somebody what to do and how to do it if I'm not modeling that or doing that myself. And so leadership is about integrity, being honest, coming to the table, having accountability. When you mess up, it's okay. You get back up and start again,
Yes.
press reset. And so leadership for me just starts in the home, and then it flows into everyday encounter that you have with other people. And even in my position at the school, that's how I lead my students, my faculty, the staff. I lead them with integrity. I lead them with accountability. And everything that I do, I trust God for giving me
Yes.
wisdom on what to do and how to do it. It's not an I. It's definitely God first telling me how should I get up every day? How do I lead? What is my commitment and service to Him first in my quiet time, my devotion to Him? And then He sets the pace for the day. And that's how I lead in my home, and that's how I lead on my job.
Wow, that is such a great perspective. I think so many women will relate to what you just said because leadership does begin in our home. If we can model it at home, because what our words and our actions, they have to align. And if we're one way, and I do know we have to shift those hats when we're in leadership role, for example, there as a principal at your school and then coming home to your family, it shifts, but your integrity, it doesn't shift.
Mm.
Your consistency doesn't shift. Listening to your story, those four pillars, I can literally hear them in your voice. I hear them in your story. Your words actually build trust. Your action is what reinforces your words. And I believe your character is what gives people the confidence to trust you as a leader, and your consistency to keep people connected, even your family, as well as those that you manage daily. Let's talk about the weight of leadership. You know, let's talk about what leadership really feels like in everyday life. Balancing work and home, watching your children grow into adulthood, caring for a marriage, protecting your peace. Oh my God. Setting boundaries and trusting God through uncertainties. How would you say you lead when you're feeling heavy?
Definitely can relate. I don't think any human being on this earth can say that every day is a good day. And I know that you can appreciate good days when you have bad days. And that heaviness that you sometimes feel, wherever it's coming from, whatever the circumstance may be, for me personally, I have this mantra in my mind that I just reset every day. Today, the next day is a new day. So I start over in my mind. I give it to God. I pray. I do my devotion in the morning. I read my word. God has a fresh word for me every day. I know He loves me.
Yes.
I know He cares. I'm His daughter. He doesn't expect me to be perfect because no one is perfect. But I come to Him with a spirit of excellence, and He knows the heart behind everything that I do. So I feel like He just forgives me, and I get to move on and reset every day. So when I'm heavy, I just lay it at His feet and say, Lord,
Yes.
take the wheel.
Oh my God.
Drive the car. Let's start again.
Yes, yes.
So,
I
yes,
love that. Reset.
reset.
Reset every single day because God gives us new grace and mercies every day. The day is new. Why would we bring
Yes.
the old day into the new day? And so I believe too, by resetting, we are getting a new focus for today. The Bible tells us, give us this day our daily bread. So what we need for today, God will always provide for us. I love that. Reset, my friends. Reset. I agree. Leadership becomes sustainable when we stop trying to be perfect and start focusing on being present. I think that is so important. Presence, our presence speak volume more so than our focus on being perfect because we're not perfect. And before we close, I just want to speak direct. I want you to speak directly to the women who may be carrying a lot right now, what would you say to them?
I would say to anyone out there who feel like they are not enough or their life is just not going the way they planned for it to go, I would say just stop. Just take a pause and take a deep breath. And if you're able to take a deep breath and exhale and inhale, then you still have purpose because you're still here.
Yes.
And it's okay. Everything that you're going through is for a reason and a purpose. And even though you may not recognize it or understand it right now, everything will work out for the good, for God's glory, and for your good. And so I'm telling each and every one of you to hang in there.
Yes.
It's going to be okay. The sun will shine. It may be storming right now, but after the storm, the sun will come out.
Yes.
And so I encourage you to hang in there. If you don't know Jesus as your personal Savior, then you need to get connected and you need to start with the Bible.
Yes.
It is the book that you need in your life to get you connected to the only Savior, Jesus Christ. So that's where you start. You have to have that foundation because He's truly the only one that can give you joy and peace and understanding and all of the great things, because when this life is over,
oh my God,
there's another life on the other side.
Absolutely.
And it's eternal.
Yes.
And so what you're going through now is temporary. But what you need to be is secure in your eternal salvation and that eternal reward. And you're going to get through it. So hang in there. God got you.
Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say next. She's absolutely correct. God has us. We just have to continue to trust Him. Today reminds me that leadership is not about position. It's about influence. And influence, I believe, is built through credible communication. One conversation, one choice, one moment at a time. Every woman wears many hats. But credibility, I believe, is what holds all of those hats together. So whether you're leading at home, at work, in ministry, or in your community, let your words build. Let your actions align. Your character speak, and your consistency sustain your trust or build your trust. And if this conversation, I believe, encouraged you, I want to invite you, just take, if this conversation encouraged you, I want to invite you to take 3 simple steps today. First, subscribe to the Credible Communication Podcast so you will never miss an episode. Second, share this episode with another woman who is leading through her own season and could use encouragement. And third, take a moment to reflect on one actionable step you would take this week to lead with credibility. Maybe it's choosing your words more carefully, following through on a commitment, listening more intentionally, or just showing up with greater consistency. Write it down. Pray over it and put it into practice. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Credible Communication Podcast. Thank you, my guest, for being here today.
Thank you.
I think my audience will be blessed. I think they have something, a word to stand on when they are feeling a little down, a little doubt. I believe that you have shared a word today that will inspire them to and lift up their spirit to move forward. Because this is what credibility looks like in real life. Those 4 pillars, they show up in everyday life. Your words is what builds trust. Your actions, they reinforce your words. Your character gives people confidence. And your consistency keeps people connected.